Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View with myself, Baz. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, and hit the notification bell so that you're notified when new videos do come out. Brendan Rodgers has spoken to the media this afternoon, and there's a little bit of a shock. Maeda will not make the trip to Aberdeen. But it's okay. Brendan Rodgers did say, look, it's fine. He does have a little bit of a strain and we don't need to risk him. Brendan Rodgers delivered an update on the Celtic squad this afternoon. Obviously, Alistair Johnston missed the draw against the Sevconian, the Rangers. But he is back and available for selection as we expected. Cameron Carter-Vickers misses out. Rodgers already confirmed that Dyson Maeda, who is also nursing a little niggle, will miss the game. It's merely a precaution, he said, as he tries to ensure that the player of the year is fighting fit for the final. Will that be his last game for Celtic? He said last week that Cameron Carter-Vickers would likely miss out this game, but will be okay for the weekend when we lift the League Championship trophy at Celtic Park. And then we're going to party at the Trongate. See you there. We do go to party at the Trongate. I think Dyson being injured at this stage of the season is a little bit of a shock, but when you look at what he's done over the season, it's no wonder that he does have a little niggle. It is just precautionary. There is no need to risk him. Then we'll make sure that he's completely 100%. So to me, that suggests that he may not play the full game next weekend also. And this coming weekend also, just to keep him. You want to keep him for the final, don't you? We all know what Dyson Maeda can do. He's an absolutely fantastic player, and if he does go this summer, Celtic are going to command a massive transfer fee for the player. Whilst recovering, Dyson came in this morning. Brendan said he trained. We're just going to keep him here on the treatment table to make sure he's okay. There's no need to risk him. Apart from that, it's the same squad as the weekend. I'm talking about squads, talking about transfers. Brendan Rodgers did allude to the fact that, yes, it's going to be a busy summer as far as Celtic are concerned in the transfer market. Brendan Rodgers says, look, when it comes to the transfers, I like to try and keep the core of the team Scottish. He says we've got Callum McGregor, we've got James Forrest, who have been one player club guys. We've got Anthony Ralston, who's going in the same way. We've got Greg Taylor, Luke McCowan. Last year when he signed, when Kieran Tierney's coming in the summer, that adds to that Scottish contingent. It doesn't matter if you play in Spain, you would have the majority of your team Spanish. If you play in Italy, you would have the majority of your team Spanish. It's just the way that I think that teams should be in the league that they are in. That's an interesting remark, considering we are still looking at the Motherwell player. And will Celtic make a move for him this summer? Tierney will bolster the Scottish ranks of the club in the summer, with Greg Taylor leaving. It doesn't look like that will change. He said that he's spoken to Tierney a lot. We've exchanged messages and stuff. I know that his love for the club and excitement to come back here. So yes, he's champing at the bit to get back to Celtic. I love to hear that, because Kieran is just going to slip right back in. It's like getting on a bike, isn't it? It's like putting on a pair of gloves. It's like it's just going to be brilliant, and can't wait for Kieran to come back in pre-season for Celtic. But then obviously there's the signing before that. There is the signing where he will sign for Celtic, and he'll get a lot of media attention for that, and also he'll get asked a lot of questions. And I wonder if he'll get asked about the teams that he turned down to come back to Celtic. Yeah, there were a lot of teams that inquired about taking Kieran under the freedom of contract, but he turned a lot of them down to come back to, he turned them all down to come back to Celtic. Brendan Rodgers went on to say, look, there's a lot of them have been here since the young guys, talking about the Scottish guys. They've came through the system, they've been brought up on the values of Glasgow Celtic. It's really pivotal to the culture of this club. Also the likes of Greg and all the other Scottish boys. It says, when you come to think of it, you've got to have the Scottish core. It's key to the success of Celtic. He says that it's key to the success of Celtic. Going back to when he was first manager and he had Scott Brown in the middle of the park doing everything and just getting the team running the way that he does. Could it mean that Kieran Tierney is a potential captain in the future to take over from Callum McGregor in a few years? I would say yes, that's guaranteed to happen. Rodgers is obviously plotting a big spending spree this summer with potential new recruits coming in and lots of players leaving. He did say there's going to be more big money departures. He reckons there could be more in the way of big money departures. He's targeting 3 new arrivals as it stands. 3 new arrivals as it stands. He's got Kieran Tierney in the door, so who are the other 3 players that he wants? So it's going to be 4 in total. But I think that if we lose big players, like Brendan Rodgers said, I think it's twofold. I always think when you look within and see if the players in our academy can make the step up, it's been very difficult in recent times because of the level that the team and the club are operating at to get those players to step up from the academy. But there's a 100% pathway for a player here if there's a bit of patience and development. That's another dig to the youth that are leaving Celtic again, who aren't prepared to stay at the club. Now, Sinisalo's been in the media talking about the fact that he knows he's number 1 goalkeeper for the future and he's enjoying the journey. Brendan Rodgers said a couple of weeks ago that it could be the case that Sinisalo may have went out on loan next season to get him some game time and get him up to scratch in preparation for taking over the number 1 jersey the next year when Kasper Schmeichel retires. But when you look at players that have played for Celtic over the years under him, the last time Ryan Christie, Stuart Armstrong, these guys were absolutely brilliant for me, said Brendan Rodgers. So what do? We look for homegrown. We see if there's anyone we can feel can improve our squad or a young player that can come in and has the potential to be a starter here. So yes, it is something that we cover in our recruitment. So Celtic, it looks like they're going to be targeting some Scottish players in the summer. I wonder who they could be. If it's not only Miller from Motherwell, who else will Celtic be targeting in the Scottish League? There has been a few names banged about over the course of the season. So it's going to be an interesting summer, that is for sure. Brendan Rodgers went on to say that they are braced for offers for their main men, but no one's been banging on the door to leave. He said not at this point. They're all focused on finishing the season strong. That's what Maeda said. Let's talk about contracts after the summer, after we've won things. And it always gives me the fear at that point, because if Maeda does turn around and does what Kyogo Furuhashi says, look, I want to play at the higher level so I can maintain my position in the Japan League, it means that there will be offers coming in. Then there's individual thoughts on that. They will have their individual thoughts on that in the summer. But at this moment, everyone's focused on one thing, and that's winning the league and the cup over the next couple of weeks. We have to look at and adapt to situations, Brendan Rodgers says. We know we'll be fine here. There is a player trading model. That means we'll probably get offers in for some of our players in the summer. But if it happens, we have to be flexible and ready to adapt to that, said Brendan. He said also, if everyone now would be here, then maybe we would only be looking to bring 2 or 3 players of a high quality. But we will have to see, said Brendan Rodgers. It is going to be a summer of, it's not going to be a summer of discontent, that's for sure. It's going to be a summer where, yes, big star players may leave, but getting in a few Scottish players, getting some more talent in, and Brendan Rodgers will be rearing to go. When you look at the game tomorrow night against Aberdeen will make sure that it's a hard game. It's always a hard game up in Pittodrie. I'm going to go for a scoreline of 2-1 Celtic. The fact that there's no Maeda means there'll be lots of changes on the wing, and it'll make it a little bit more interesting of a game. Will it be a level playing field for Aberdeen? They say that Maeda's out, Jota's out, Kyogo Furuhashi isn't there. What are we at the end of the season? Could you imagine if we were going into the end of the season and it was all to play for, and we'd said this a couple of months ago that we wouldn't have those players? It would have been unthinkable. But Brendan Rodgers will make sure that we win the game. I think it's going to be 2-1. Tell me your scoreline in the description. When it comes to team, I'm not even going to try and predict the team for tomorrow night, because I think there's going to be quite a few changes, because Brendan Rodgers makes sure that everyone's ready for fresh for the weekends and ultimately fresh for the final. And on that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.